volume, 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 and volume. You search volume on TradingView and you will see hundreds of volume indicators on this platform. You may wonder which one you should use that gives you proper information for your trading decisions. In this video, I want to introduce a perfect volume indicator on TradingView that is one of the best volume indicators that you can use. To add this amazing volume indicator to our chart, here we click on indicators and we search relative strength of volume indicators by DGT. This one, which is an editor specs indicator and written by someone named DGTRD. Alright, this is the indicator, and as you can see, it's added here below the chart. It has different parts, different components, each provide different information, so make sure you watch this video until the end and you don't miss any important points. Without wasting any more time, let's get started. First, let's begin with the bottom part, which there are volume bars similar to an ordinary volume indicator. For example, here in the indicators, if we search volume and we add this one, which is the most simple and also the most commonly used volume indicator among traders, you can see that they are exactly the same, but this one provides more information besides showing the amount of volume in the form of bars. As you can see, sometimes the color of bars is gray, which is a sign that the market is flat. That can be part of a pullback or an extended range, but this indicator just shows the shorter term situation of the market where the price action is flat. For example, here in this part, you can see that it's gray, and if you check the price action, you can clearly see that the market is flat in this part. Here in this part is also is gray and the market is flat, as you can see. Here also in this part, you can see that the bars are in gray color, and at the same time the market is flat before reversal, as you can see. Here also the bars are gray, and look at the price action. The market is completely flat before further declining. Or here you can also see that the indicator is gray, and here also the market is flat, as you can see, as part of the pullback before further declining of the price. So when the bars are in gray color, it shows flat market, but as I said, it's actually very short-term flat market, and with little more advancing or declining of the price, the bars turn to red or green. Being red or green depends on where the candle is closed, below the opening price or above the opening price. Let me go to the settings of the indicator, and here in the inputs tab, I turn off the bars color so we can better see what is happening with candlesticks. So when analyzing these volume bars, when it's gray, it shows that the market is flat, and when it's green or red, it shows that the market is moving in that direction. But please pay attention that this is a volume indicator, not a momentum indicator, and these bars are showing the amount of volume for each candle. And for a defined look back period of average, when it's lower than the average, it's considered low, and so being shown by gray color and indicating a flat market. As you can see, we have an orange line here on the bars, which by default is set on volume oscillator. So this orange line is an oscillator based on the volume data and moving above and below the center line, which is 0. Another option here is moving average, which the line becomes moving average of the volume data, which I found this one more helpful in practice because you can evaluate how much the volume is above or below the average. When it's above the average, it shows increased interest of the market participants for buying or selling. The higher the bar is above the average, the stronger is the interest. And when the bar is below the average, it shows low interest, and the bars become gray when they are below the average line. Here in the settings of the indicator, you have also different options for how the volume bars are shown on the chart. By default, it's set on relative volume 4 color. If we set it on relative volume, the bars will not be gray when they are below the average. And if we set it on buying and selling volume, for each bar, the ratio of buying and selling volume is shown. So for each candle, separately, we can evaluate the amount of buying and selling volume. So in practice, you know if in that period buyers had the upper hand or sellers. There is also another option for buying and selling volume, this one, which shows the buying and selling volume separately above and below the center line. The appearance of these volume bars bars. Depends on you which one you prefer. Alright, this was for the bottom part of this indicator, and now let's see what is this in the upper part of the indicator. This indicator tried to apply RSI concept to some common volume indicators. This purple line that you see here is RSI of price, just the RSI that you know, with the center line placed at 50 and this overbought and oversold zones. By default here in the style tab of the indicator, for overbought and oversold, the lower threshold level for overbought is set at 65, which you can set it at 70, just the way that you use RSI. And for the higher threshold level for oversold, it's set at 35, which we can set it at 30. So it will be exactly similar to RSI default settings. Alright, we have also this blue line here, which is RSI of a volume indicator. RSI concept is applied to a volume indicator. Here in the settings of the indicator, here in the inputs tab, here in this part, you can see that it's set on unbalanced volume by default. And there are also 4 other volume indicators that you can choose. So this blue line that you see here is OBV, but RSI concept is applied to it. So it became an oscillator moving in this range, just similar to RSI. Instead of OBV, you can choose accumulation distribution indicator, Elder's force index. We have also money flow index and price volume trend. These are popular and commonly used volume indicators, and they are available here in this indicator for choosing, and you will have the indicator in the context of RSI. Alright, now let's see how it can help us with trading. The similar way that RSI is used for trading, these volume indicators are interpreted and used. For example, having RSI and the volume indicator below 60 level shows downtrend with 50 to 60 as a resistance level, and on the other hand, being above 40 shows uptrend with 40 to 50 being as support level in the pullbacks. Having them overbought or oversold is also a signal that the current trend is weakening, and we may have a pullback, we may have a range market, or we may have a reversal. But the best signal that we can get from this upper part of the indicator is divergence signal, where the price and the indicator doesn't agree in the same direction. For example, here you can see that the price made higher high, but at the same time RSI made lower high, showing that the upside momentum is weakening and we have increased downside momentum. And OBV, the blue line here, is also showing divergence. It made lower high, as you can see, and this is telling us that selling volume is building behind the scene. And during this divergence period, here the bars are gray, showing low volume period in the market and flat market, and giving us more probability that the price is going to break out. Until now, we have probability to have a downside breakout because RSI and OBV are showing bearish divergence. Let's go to the settings of the indicator and change the indicators and see what are the signals from other indicators. We change it to accumulation distribution indicator, and from this indicator we can see that this is also showing divergence. Again, we go to the indicators and here we change the volume indicator to Elder's force index, and for this indicator you can see that it's showing very high level of divergence. Let's change the volume indicator to another type. We change it to money flow index, and for this one you can see that it is also showing divergence. Let's change it to another type. The next would be price volume trend, and for this one it is also showing divergence. As you can see, with all the volume indicators showing divergence, RSI showing divergence, the market being very low volume and flat during this period, we have very high probability that the price is gonna reverse. We enter a trade when the low of the divergence pattern is broken. We draw a horizontal line here, and when the line is broken, when we get a candle closed below the line, we enter a trade and we set the stop loss above the high of the divergence pattern. In this case, having all the 5 volume indicators and RSI showing divergence, and then having the price closed below the low of the divergence pattern, this is a very strong signal with high probability that the price is gonna reverse. But in practice, having all of them in hand and check them may cause you to lose some good trading opportunities in the market. It's true that you will only have very high probability setup, but the frequency of having your setup will decrease more and more when you add more layer of confirmation. So depending on your trading strategy, you may focus on one or two of them. You may focus on OBV if you're interested to track smart money and catch break out of consolidations, or you may focus on money flow index if you're more interested to focus on momentum change. This volume indicator, by showing different types of information and having different features, it's a a very good choice for you if volume is part of your trading strategy. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and leave a comment for me. I'll answer your questions as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notifications of my new video. See you guys in next video and good luck with your trading.